Hey guys, John here. Today's patch is going to be an analog emulated Fatness sound in Vital. Now, this patch is a little bit different from our regular stuff, and this is more so to drive the concept home of what does analog warmth really mean and how can we apply settings in a digital perfect world to recreate that unpredictability. So with that being said, this is what the patch sounds like underneath a kick drum. All right, I think you get the idea. If you like the patch, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's dive into this patch and see what's going on. So this one's a little bit more complicated, so bear with me while I try to explain this craziness going on here. So first things first, we are using a saw wave down here for oscillator number 2 and a square pulse wave for the oscillator number 1. Now that's not super important, but I thought I'd just mention it just in case out of the box here. Both have 4 voices and 7% and 14% detune, but these are going to be modulated. In fact, a lot of this stuff is modulated. So if we look in our matrix here, we have LFO 1, 2, 3, and random 1, random 2, and random 3 going on here. So what's all happening here? So let's start with the first oscillator. So when I hit a note here, this fine tuning is going to be constantly moving. It's going to be unpredictable. It's not going to be locked in to a 0 value the whole time. And that's getting modulated by LFO 1. Now it has this crazy shape under the noisy preset here. Now LFO 2 is doing the same thing but at different times. So if you notice, LFO 1 is 0.402 seconds, LFO 2 is 0.280 seconds. So it's the same shape, but it's happening at different rates of time. And they're both on sync, so it's not necessarily going to start at the very same spot every time. So it adds a little bit more to that randomness. Now LFO 1 is going to the fine pitch here. LFO 2 is going to this fine pitch on oscillator 2. Now the interesting part where it gets a little bit more crazy is LFO 3 here is going to be the same shape and it's going to be 0.621 seconds. Now this is modulating the modulation of that. So it's kind of hard to wrap your concept around. So imagine LFO 1 is modulating this fine pitch of oscillator 1. Now you have another modulator modulating that modulator on LFO 3. So hopefully that makes sense. So this LFO 3 is modulating the modulators of LFO 1 and LFO 2. I feel like I've said modulation 1,000 times already. So moving on from that, we have this kind of unpredictability-ness of the fine tuning for both oscillators. But wait, there's more. Over here on the unison, we can see that random 1 and right over here, random 2 are modulating the unison detuning of oscillator 1 and 2. So let's take a look at random 1 and take a look at random 2. So right over here, random 1, this is going to be on the Lorenz attractor, so a different type of randomness at 0.039 seconds. And that's changing this detuning right here. And random 2 over here on the oscillator 2 unison detuning is 0.20 amount, and this is 0.117 seconds, and also on Lorenz attractor as well. So if we hop back into random 1, we can see that this is going also to the distortion drive in our effects, because when we use distortion or overdrive in analog type of things, it's not always going to be the exact same every single time. So let's hit a note and let's watch this drive move. So the value of this distortion, this drive, is constantly changing at a very fast rate, giving a different type of waveform every single time we press the key. And while we hold the key, it's going to be constantly moving as well. So as a recap there, random 1 is this distortion drive, what we just saw here. The filter 1 cutoff, this is another one over here. So basically this filter here is kind of interesting because this is a ladder 24, and over here on the cutoff, it's pretty high up, so it's not really cutting off too much, but the filter almost sounds like it's a little unstable, and as we hold down a note, we can see it's kind of jiggling, kind of just like tickling those top frequencies there. And it's a very small amount as well too, because with this type of concept, we want to have a lot of modulation, but not that much of modulation effects individually. A little bit goes a long way for a lot of things. And one of the very last things here is this random 3. So this is going to be on the attack and on the release. So this is going to be on a sample and hold random, and this is going right here to the attack at a small amount of 0.155, and the release is going to be 0.013. So as we hit a note, we can see this envelope kind of just moving back and forth. And it's small enough amount for this envelope to still sound somewhat consistent, but not exactly perfect every single time. So that's an important thing to really drive home. So the first thing we really want to modulate is some fine-tuning stuff, because oscillators were never really, or never still are, perfectly in pitch as digital synths are. So that's something we always want to change over time. And always modulate the modulator, because it's another effect on there. And then you can modulate the modulator that's modulating the modulator. So hopefully you know what I mean by that. And then from that, we have the effects of distortion, so some type of drive, and that's what's doing this right here again. And then we also want to do that same thing with a filter, because the filters aren't exactly going to be sterile and perfect in the exact same filter the whole time. Different changes in temperature can change the different components inside the synth, so that's something we're kind of trying to emulate here as well. And the same thing for the main output envelope. And one of the very last things of this as well, this white noise here is just a tiny bit here in the mix, because sometimes when we'd plug in old stuff, we'd hear that hiss, that kind of just that little noise floor, and that's something that we kind of want to add a little bit into that. I have it at a very low level, so if I turn these oscillators off, you can hear it there, and you can also kind of hear it just moving a little bit, so it doesn't just sound so static. And that one's down by 12 here. So by turning these back on, so that's basically the concepts in a nutshell. Definitely go and try to recreate something like this. Even just any other regular patch, if you kind of want to analogize your patch a little bit, try using some of these concepts, and you'll be kind of surprised that the more you start adding on these little types of things, it's going to really make your patch come alive. And as another thing to drive home, if you do want to do this as well, once you have all these modulations in place, then you can start using macros and driving everything on one macro. So that way you can have like your stereo, or not stereo, your digital perfect patch, but then you can turn one macro that controls all these parameters, and then you can kind of analogize it with one knob, and you can kind of maybe do 50% or a little bit more analog, vice versa, something kind of like that. So that's basically the concept within this video. If you like this patch, you can get it for free in the video description below and kind of dissect it and see how this whole thing works. And last but not least, this skin that you're looking at is a pigment skin I found on the Vital Synth Reddit page. So I have all the links in the video description below of that if you want to download it and say thanks to the creator, because this is a fantastic job here and I love how this looks. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.